Regularly scheduled village board meeting on September 22nd. It's 7 o'clock, right on the head. They asked the clerk to take the roll call.
Trustee Bachner? Here. Trustee Brennan?
Here.
Trustee Pescatello?
Here.
Trustee Vasquez?
Here.
Trustee Gillis? Trustee O'Connell? Here. President Ducey.
Here. If I can all ask you to stand, say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, what we got there? All right. Who's that? Bruce Fail. Okay. Okay, Margie Cantor. Fail. Okay.
Margie Seconder, River Oaks Drive. Regarding tonight's board discussion on the Ethics Commission, closed session is not justified. Rather, it should be an open session. Why does the agenda omit the statute? Is this a new practice? On the audio, the ethics chair already stated the commission's recommendation. Why isn't the discussion tonight in public? The EC dismissed the potential conflict of interest complaint after initial review. The Ethics Commission shall include its reasoning in a written determination and in meeting minutes. Neither is available. This is Section 1-23-8C6 of the River Forest Ethics Code. The new Ethics Code could have been rolled out to all covered individuals in the last 60 days since the approval. Switching to the September 9th EC meeting, Ethics Commission meeting, to enter closed session, Village Attorney Molina during the meeting cites Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120 Section 1. Mr. Walsh clarified the sections as Sections 2C1, 2C3, and 2C4. One is to hear testimony on a complaint against what River Forest Ethics Code calls covered individuals. 2C3 is about the appointment, discipline, removal of an occupant, but the Ethics Commission lacks required power to appoint or remove an occupant. Section 2C4 is to hold a closed meeting provided the public body prepares and makes public its determination in writing, which the EC hasn't done. Former Ethics Chair Peggy Daly was adamant on that only the Ethics Commissioners were to conduct an initial review of a complaint. The Ethics Code states, after initial review, and if there's a reasonable basis for the complaint, the EC may share the complaint with the village administrator, village attorney, village president, village board. The EC dismissed the complaint. It doesn't need to share it. During revisions this past spring, the village attorney repeatedly requested he receive complaints immediately. The Ethics Commission decided against that to ensure confidentiality and anonymity. Why did the village deny my request to identify all attendees of the September 9th Ethics Commission meeting during initial roll call and for closed session? The attendees were first identified upon returning to open session. They were the two ethics commissioners, Mr. Walsh, Mr. Molina, and Mr. Masella. The denial suggests more than the two ethics commissioners attended the closed session. The village board needs to review its process for filing ethics complaints. The EC webpage directs complainants to file an online form or email ethics@vrf.us. Who receives these? The EC's intent was for complaints to go only to the EC chair, no one else. Complaints going through village software does not ensure confidentiality and anonymity. The EC's initial review occurred 21 business days after the August 8th complaint date. Code requires 10 business days without exception. The June 17th Ethics Commission meeting minutes are not posted nor reviewed for approval. Why? Lastly, The August 25th Village Board closed session added a discussion on setting a price for the sale or lease of village-owned property in violation of the Open Meetings Act, per the Attorney General's FAQs dated December 2023, page 4, which partially reads, "A public body may add a new topic for discussion to a regular meeting agenda solely to increase transparency." Two topics were to be discussed, running an hour and 43 minutes. A contract for the existing village administrator, likely not long, and a discussion limited by OMA to only price setting for the sale or lease of property owned by the village. This suggests a lengthy discussion occurred on only price setting, or was more discussed outside the public's purview. Thank you.
Thank you, Margie. Bruce?
Bruce Phelan, 300 block of Franklin. I have some written words, and maybe I'll get an education after this. I have attended board meetings and talked to people, but raises some issues when I talk to people, so this is my words. I am a resident seeking accurately, timely information about the issues affecting our community, village government, park district, and the township. While I receive clear updates from the school board and the library, I often find it difficulty to get the same level of clarity from the village offices. In today's climate of misinformation, this is especially concerning. My number one question, village attorney's role. Do you represent the residents and village as a whole, or primarily the board members? My understanding is your duty to protect the village and the residents from legal and financial consequences, not simply to test the limits of board initiatives. And can you clarify this? The board members, do you feel you receive enough background information before meetings to make well-informed decisions that affect the future of our community? And opportunities for resident education. The agenda includes time for public comment, but is there an opportunity for residents to be educated on upcoming issues before decisions are made? Term limits. Why have the term limits not been adopted or incorporated into the governing rules? And then as for development, Lake and Lathrop, who is responsible for demolishing the current structure so that a serious qualified developer can change the current landscape? What is the projected timeline, and who bears this cost? Has anyone calculated the lost revenue from delays and how this shortfall will be addressed? And as for zoning information, what is the current zoning for Lake and Lathrop, Madison and Ashland, and the other properties in the village? I've asked and I haven't received any information. In closing, recently when residents raise questions, the tone of the meeting sometimes feels defensive rather than collaborative. We elect and appoint officials to serve the public. Open dialogue and straightforward answers to help build the trust of our community deserves. Thank you for taking the time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bruce. And, all right. I mean, and we'll probably talk more about this, Bruce, but I mean, there are, I mean, I hear what you said about timely information, and I'm hearing what you're saying about just general information and how you've contacted the staff, and that doesn't, I mean, I feel, I'm sorry that you felt that you didn't get response from the staff, but I know that they're very good at what they do, and they try to work diligently, and I know there's a lot of information that they produce. The weekly e-newsletter goes out, the monthly e-newsletter goes out, and there's a lot of web pages on our website that actually talks about term limits and specifically in Lake and Lathrop and other really good topics. So if there's something, maybe to your point, we need to educate you a little, not only you, but the public more about what is available, and we'll just keep working at it to make sure that we get as much information out in a timely manner that we can. So I hear you, and if you got anything specifically you'd like to suggest as a solution, please send it to Jessica and Matt, and then we'll try to look to implement whatever you think we're missing. So we take that very serious. So I appreciate you coming and telling us that. Okay, with that, I'll ask the elected officials' comments and announcements. If Erica, if that's okay, if we start with you first.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
I want to offer up a happy Rosh Hashanah and thank Megan, who celebrates for being here tonight. As I understand it, it's one of the highest holidays. And so to be here on what I would presume is like Christmas, essentially, is a huge deal. So Shana Tova to you. And then I wanted to read a statement that I provided the Wednesday Journal earlier this week. So, as a village trustee in River Forest, I'm deeply disturbed by recent incidents related to ICE activity in our area. On Thursday, September 11th, 2 of our River Forest residents were abducted by ICE and deported within 24 hours. The abrupt and concealed way this unfolded is profoundly troubling. It's also a clear reminder that River Forest is not immune from these actions. ICE and other federal agencies working on their behalf are active here, and we cannot ignore that reality. River Forest has a welcoming village resolution that makes clear our position. No village employee, official, or department may use our resources to ensure federal immigration laws or inquire into immigration status. Our policy affirms that all people, regardless of status, are welcome and safe here, and that the village will not participate in programs deputizing local agencies to act as ICE agents. These principles guide us today, and River Forest does not and will not stand with ICE. Immigrant families and individuals are not outsiders. They are our neighbors, our classmates, faith community members, people who contribute, whose work contributes to the life and well-being of our village, and they support our local businesses. They are an essential part of the fabric of River Forest, contributing to the vibrancy and strength of our community. When ICE or other agencies working on their behalf act here, they target our community members, and we must stand together to ensure everyone feels safe and protected. Residents also need to know what to do if they need assistance or see or suspect activity by ICE or agencies working on their behalf. First, the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant Rights, for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, or ICER, has a family support hotline number, and that's 855-435-7693. Please share that widely. Call this number to report ICE activity, get legal and social service referrals, and obtain deportation legal support. Second, if you witness ICE activity, write down important details: how many agents or vehicles are present, what actions they are taking, the exact location, what clothing or agency uniforms they are wearing, the time and date, and any equipment or weapons you see. Sharing clear and specific information like this helps community organizations respond quickly and accurately. As well, I encourage residents to join ICER's Illinois ICE Eyes on ICE text network at ICIRR.org. This is ICER's verified text alert system for ICE activity in our neighborhood. Network participants will receive real-time, verified reports of ICE operations in their area so that they can stay informed and prepared. The day after 2 River Forest community members were abducted in River Forest by ICE, 2 additional horrifying ICE-related incidents occurred and continue to occur. In Franklin Park, Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, a 38-year-old father from McKeenan, was shot and killed during an attempted arrest by ICE agents. DHS initially claimed he resisted arrest and drove towards officers, dragging one with his vehicle. However, video and eyewitness accounts raised serious doubts about that narrative, suggesting that he was backing away. Mr. Villegas Gonzalez had completed a school drop-off, and his record shows only traffic violations from years ago rather than any violent offenses. A separate tragic event unfolded on Friday, September 12th at the Broadview ICE facility during a sustained 12-hour protest. From morning until evening, community members, faith leaders, and activists gathered to oppose these enforcement actions. Demonstrators tried to block transport vans, prayed and chalked messages such as "America was built by immigrants" and "Love thy neighbor," and chanted in solidarity. ICE agents emerged from the gates to push protesters back, fired pepper balls into the crowd, and issued dispersal orders over loudspeakers, while threatening the use of less lethal weapons. One protester reported being thrown to the ground and injured, and these were not minor scuffles, and we continue to see that these are not minor scuffles. These are moments of violence that should never occur when people are exercising their First Amendment rights. The actions we saw in Broadview and Franklin Park demand full independent investigations. They are not acceptable in a democracy. And my deepest sympathy goes to Mr. Villegas Gonzalez's families and the protesters who have been harmed and all those carrying this grief and fear caused by these actions. They deserve truth, transparency, and justice. ICE must be held accountable for these abuses of power. River Forest must stand firm in its commitment to be a welcoming community. Our village cannot and will not be complicit. We must remain vigilant, prepared, and united in protecting the dignity, safety, and humanity of every person who visits, works, and calls River Forest home. That's my comments.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, Brett?
Yes, thank you. Just to add what Trustee Bachner said, in Illinois, we do have two statutes. One that prohibits local police departments from cooperating and assisting the federal government in terms of immigration enforcement. And then two, also prohibiting local police departments from agreeing to, I believe they call it the 276G agreements, which is where the federal government deputizes local, state, and local police officers to act as a deputy of the federal government immigration ICE department. So we're prohibited in that way, in terms of that, until further notice, I guess, or litigation. So I just wanted people to know that as well, for the record. So, but thank you with all your other comments, Trustee Bachner. The only other thing I would add is that I know a number of us attended the IML annual conference. I always find it beneficial. It was 2.5 days of a lot of workshops and topics that are always helpful for all municipal bodies. So I just want to share that, and I know a number of us attended that too.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Trez.
Yep. I want to start by offering a land acknowledgement. As we begin, we are mindful that we hold these meetings on land that was once and still is inhabited by indigenous people, including the Ojibwa, Chippewa, Menominee, Potawatomi nations, and more. We will remember our nation's history and honor the Native people as stewards of this land that was colonized, and that River Forest continues to be a place many people from diverse backgrounds live and gather. Many people from diverse backgrounds live and gather. A couple of comments. I want to amplify Erica's comments and sentiments and concerns. River Forest is a welcoming community, and that is also stated in our Maywood River Forest Twin Village Covenant, where River Forest states that it is fully vested to the principles of humanity, equity, and inclusion. It's alarming that we had the abduction of 2 River Forest residents and ICE operations in River Forest. It's also alarming that, as reported in the local paper, that ICE apparently denied abducting anyone from River Forest and operating in River Forest. And I understand that ICE did not alert our village police prior to being here, which creates a very dangerous situation for our residents and our police as well. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. First, I would like to say happy birthday to my daughter, Audrey. Thank you for sharing your 10th birthday with our community. Tonight begins the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. And to my fellow Jewish community members, I wish you Lashana Tova, a good new year. This season is called the Days of Awe. It's marked by contemplation, reflection, and atonement for Jewish people. In the spirit of reflection, I'd like to take the opportunity to reflect on the state of our welcoming village. Though it's been mentioned, it bears repeating, 2 of our residents were forcibly taken off the streets of River Forest, abducted and removed from the United States while being deprived of the due process of law. Their neighbors bore witness to this loss, though ICE denies that people have been removed. They're undeniably gone. Through our 2017 Welcoming Village Ordinance, River Forest has acknowledged and reaffirmed the rights of all individuals, regardless of immigration status. The village conducts itself, along with all officials, employees, and uniformed services, according to the principles of equal, respectful, and dignified treatment for all individuals, and provides assistance and services to those in need without regard to immigration or refugee status, race, color, creed, religion, ancestry, national origin, age, sex, marital status, parental status, sexual orientation, gender identity, political ideology, physical or mental disability, homelessness, low income, or veteran status. We are resolved to River Forest's continuing commitment to equal, respectful, and dignified treatment of all people, regardless of their immigration status. We all belong in River Forest. Thank you to the neighbors who are working in big and small ways to support one another, to build networks and extend helping hands. Your work matters. Your work is effective. I'll stand with you and for you and work to protect the civil rights of each person in our village and support the United States Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you very much. Erica, thanks for your comments. I think they're totally appropriate, but it also brings to mind that I think at this point in time, I would again ask village administrator, let's get our information on DEI out there. I mean, we spend a lot of money to have this done. There's items that we may come out of those findings that help us get through the muddied waters that we're in today. So I'd ask you to have that pulled back together, and let's get a final report on that, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't get our info. What did you want him to do?
The recap of the DEI report.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. First of all, Happy New Year to our Jewish committee, and happy birthday to your daughter. I, as mentioned by Brez, I attended the Illinois Municipal League conference 2.5 days, and it's well attended by almost many of our municipalities throughout the state of Illinois, and it's germane to many of the things that we do around this table, you know, operations, finance, social issues that we just talked about. I mean, there are many topics that are discussed and shared with our colleagues across the state of Illinois. So I find it extremely helpful for me. So that's all I have to report at this moment. So we'll move on to our consent agenda. I can get a motion and a second to approve item 5A through E.
Motion to approve consent agenda items A through E.
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions regarding any of those items? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to read it out loud and then take each of the items and then take the vote.
Item 5A, Village Board of Trustees meeting minutes, September 8th, 2025. B, monthly department reports. C, administration department report. D, change order 2025 street improvement program, Schroeder Asphalt Services, $92,040.39. E, Lake Street Crossings, Safe Routes to School, grant funding resolution.
Okay.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Brockner?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to new business, which is the approval of the collective bargaining agreement. If I can get a motion and a second.
Motion to ratify the collective bargaining agreement with the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 151 and authorize the village administrator and director of public works and engineering to execute the contract pending attorney review.
Second.
Okay. Maybe we can get some highlights?
Sure. I'll just provide a brief overview of the proposed contract here. This is a 3-year contract that will be retroactive back to May 1st, 2025. The Public Works contract expired at the end of April 2025. The primary change here with the bargaining unit is the 9 members of the bargaining unit by the end, as a result of this contract, will now be on the village's healthcare plan as opposed to the union-funded health plan. And as a result of that, there are several provisions in there that we negotiated with the union to bring them over to the village plan, including the salaries of 5.5%, then 4%, and 4% over the life of the contract.
Yeah, so this was a big, I think, successful negotiation.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
we are pleased, and I believe that the union is pleased with
Yeah.
this. The results of this is a priority of ours to get the employees on our insurance for cost reasons and also administration reasons. So we think that this will be a great result moving forward. The other change of note would be the renaming of a title within the bargaining unit from crew leader to foreman, and also the consolidation of maintenance worker 1 and 2 to one maintenance worker position in the department.
All right. Good work. All righty. Any comments, questions? Okay. If we could take the vote, please.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Bachner?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Thanks. And I just, on behalf of, I know the village board believes this, I know it's a lot of work to negotiate these types of contracts. So Jack and Jessica and Matt and whoever else was involved, Trish. Yeah, I don't see Trish here.
Yeah, and
So she's
not
out
here.
of sight, out of
Oh,
mind.
gee.
Yeah.
All sorts of kudos for her. She doesn't
All
show.
sorts of kudos for her, and she's not here. But good work. This is not an easy task, so thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to executive session. If I can get a motion in a second.
Before we go to
gotta
before we go to executive session, I wondered if is it inappropriate to ask if we can address some of the comments by the resident about giving updates on regular updates on term limits in Lake and Lathrop?
I think I did. I think I addressed Bruce's. I think we give regular updates. It's on the website. It's on the newsletter. I think I had said it. I mean, what else more would you like to add something?
Well, I guess addressing those two issues and his question about the village attorney's role, that should be an easy one to answer. But why not? I mean, those are two big topics that residents are talking about and want to know and are concerned about and are confused about. Why not include an update on term limits in Lake and Lathrop in every e-newsletter that we send out?
I'll answer. I mean, we can. It's just that sometimes there's not much to add. I mean, we can just repeat it every week. I mean, there's times like right now where we're not going to meet until October 12th on the, 13th on the term limit, and then the next meeting for Lake and Lathrop. We've already put it out there. We've got to update more. The most recent update just happened this Friday. Yeah, and it was a really good update. So, I mean, we're happy to keep putting it in. I think we want to make it relevant, and we want to make sure it's, I mean, if that's what the board wants.
Perhaps what we could do then is add a list of items that are of concern to residents that we know are of concern to residents and links to the areas on the website where they can find that information to the newsletter.
Sure, no problem.
It's in the newsletter. It's
Yeah.
specifically for Lake Lathrop. It's click here to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we could keep,
The village
And,
board packet is out on the website, correct?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's everything that we're going to see and that we look at for our village board package is available to the residents.
yeah, and then I would
Right,
welcome-
but not residents don't always know where to go. I mean, we know because we're on the board. We know exactly, what's on our agenda and what we're going to be speaking about, and we know the whole history. But I don't think we can count on every resident to be following along with every update. It'd be nice. I like the idea of putting a list of the topics with links to the updates that are on the website. Maybe we don't have to have the update in actually every newsletter, but a link to it, I think, would be appropriate.
That would be, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it is, the term limits was on the
Oh, they're all
update
in
on
there.
September 11th. And then
If you
Lake
feel
and
that-
Lathrop was recent,
Alright.
this past update. I'm not saying to just shut down any other forms of updating, but I just want to be clear.
Yeah, I say noted and good, and let's
Yeah.
keep that in every e-newsletter because that seems to be what residents want to know about.
And we need to make sure residents are signed up for the e-newsletter. So I don't know how we do
Yeah,
that
I
again.
mean,
But,
we
I
do,
mean,
we put, we.
I mean, there's a
bring
lot
the-
of information out there. It's just, if you want it, you have to just go and get it. So I don't know how much more we can do, so.
I agree. I mean, we'll put more links out. We'll do more listings. I don't know. I think the issue is just getting people to read the stuff on the website and then the newsletter. But we'll keep doing that. You know, I think we do. I think the administration does a really good job of trying to get the information out. We get a lot of good compliments. I know the administration does about what the amount of information that's out there. So sometimes it's missed, and we get that. And I'm offering to you, Bruce, or anybody else that you know, please come on into the Village Hall, and Matt and Jessica will meet with you personally, or anybody, and try to figure out maybe there's something more we can do, as Katie mentioned, and Megan, and we'll do it. I mean, there's no reason. We want to keep this information secret. I promise you that. We want to get it out. Maybe there's another format in which we can, as they mentioned, and we'll do it. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Not enough people vote for it?
Oh, no, with the term limit issue? Yeah, it's not about whether it passed. We're talking about how to proceed with the current way it was, the petitions were signed. And so without getting into it, and we welcome you to come back on October 13th. We'll have a robust conversation on that meeting on Monday, and we'll make sure that's in the newsletter, and we put it in the newspapers. We try to get it out. Because we want people to be engaged in that conversation, but it's not about it being approved. It's just about the legal aspect of a few things. So, and I welcome you to read not to get into it. Like I said, just read it on the website too. There's some good information on our website as well. So, okay.
And then there was a question about the village attorney's role in representation.
You want to know about his role for us or for the residents?
I think the exact question was
who we
whether
rep,
the
yeah.
village attorney represents the board or the residents.
Right, like
Right.
who does the village attorney
your
represent
client?
the whole
Yeah.
village?
Yeah.
So that my client
good
is
question.
actually the village board, all the elected officials and the appointed staff that the elected officials have put in place. It's not the residents, except to the extent that the elected officials are the elected representatives for those residents. So my duty of loyalty is to the board. And that can include defending things that some board members don't like, depending on where the majority ends up on a given issue. But it's always to the board, and the final decisions the board makes. I'm appointed by, under our form of government, appointed by the executive, the village president, with the advice and consent of the rest of the board. That's how the form of government is for our village.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer that?
Thank
Does
you.
that answer it, Bruce? Yep.
I have asked that previous administration, and it didn't get answered, but I appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it couldn't have been, so
All right. Yeah, no worries. It's maybe misunderstood, but it wasn't purposeful. That's for sure. I'm sure
Yeah.
these guys are really good at what they do, so I'm not sure they'll keep that information to themselves. So, okay, very good. Thank you for clarification. So let's go ahead and move on to a motion to go into executive session.
Okay, so I move to enter into an executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 122C1 for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. 2C3, the performance of a or appointed public officer. And 2C4, the evidence or testimony presented in an open hearing or in a closed hearing where specifically authorized to do so by law.
Second.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Bachner?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
And do I have to take your, and President Aduce?
Yeah.
Just a point of order. Are we going to be coming back into regular session afterwards?
Yes, the plan, and it's on the agenda, that there's
There's a
an
motion.
action item that will be publicly discussed and voted on. So We will not, when we adjourn the closed session, we will only be adjourning the closed session, not the meeting as a whole. We will be returning into open session.
Right. It's
Does
on
that-
your agenda.
Does that make sense?
What you're saying makes sense to me, but the way it's structured on the agenda is confusing to my eye. 9 is executive session. 9A is action based on executive session, which looks to me to be something done in executive session. And then 10 is adjournment. So it doesn't look to me from
Could have been
what
a
I'm seeing
separate-
online that it's not, it doesn't look to me like we're coming back.
Oh,
Well, it doesn't normally say we're
well,
coming back? Like,
Well,
we can just say that.
9B says that we're adjourning executive session and returning to open session.
I'm looking online. I don't see 9B.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Russ,
I'm sorry.
Russ is reading off the action sheet, which Luke
Right.
prepares to help with the motion.
I'm just
So-
looking to see what residents see.
I
I'm
understand.
following along the meeting, and
No,
it
I
doesn't
understand.
say that we come back.
Yeah, no,
It says,
Well-
well, in the motion it did.
well, it wouldn't have to. Normally, normally you can't adjourn a meeting in closed session. The only time you can is when the motion to go into closed session
Says it.
includes that the adjournment of that will be the adjournment of the meeting, so that the board is bound to adjourn. As far as what Trustee Brennan said about the way it's listed, it could have been listed better as a separate item. It makes it seem like it's a subsection of executive session. Executive session isn't required to be listed on any agenda. It's the item, the topic itself, where you're going to take action. So it could have been done clearer.
Okay, so just so residents know, we're coming back
If-
into regular session
That- It's
after.
absolutely clear. I mean, if there's concern, that should be voiced. I mean, if there's concern about any issues raised about going into closed session, there have been statements made or about what the board's role is. I can talk about those now or later.
Well, I think this is, because it seems like Kate's a bit confused on how we go into executive session. We go into, have been doing this for years, going into executive session unless it says that we are not coming back to open session. Always been that way, so.
I'm not confused about that,
been like
Kathy.
that. I'm sorry.
I'm confused. I think that the way it's structured on the website, that the
agenda.
public notice looks like we go in executive session, we make an action based on executive session, and then we adjourn.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay. So normally what we would do there is just then
I
come
would say
back and.
this is how it's been listed in the past when
Yeah.
there's been action that's required on the agenda. I understand the comments, and we can
It's been like that.
reformat that for
Right.
future when there's expected action, but this has been the format used. This was used last month, including the discussion of my employment contract with the same subsection language.
Used before.
Moving forward, we can certainly reformat that to be more clear.
I think it'd be helpful because then people will know whether to stay on or stay around for when we come back.
We will work on that, although it does says action, so based on executive session, but if it needs to be clearer, we'll.
We can,
make sure.
everything can always be clearer, yeah. And then if there are any concerns about what the board's role is, if you remember this ordinance, the recommendation, the ordinance for the ethics commission itself said they're a recommending body only. And so somebody's got to finalize those recommendations.
Yep.
And so this was queued up for the board in a way where we tried to get enough information so you knew what you were accepting or rejecting in the way of a recommendation without violating the purposes of trying to keep this as private as possible at the early stages. So that's why it's set up that way.
Is that okay? Is everyone good with that? Okay. All right, so I think we have a motion and a second, so we'll, we voted, right? So then we'll go into executive session, right? So, thank you.